It's me. VoiceOver Ashley's dead. Now it's webcam VoiceOver Ashley. And she's going to talk to you about all the little things that were going through her head when she was journaling the other day. These are some of the pieces of paper that I have. And for this journaling entry, I really wanted to try to use pieces that I haven't used, that I've been holding on to a very long time. That didn't happen. I think I used everything that I used in this one I've had for a short amount of time. I didn't use anything that I've had for too long, but it turned out really well. And I really enjoy how it looks, and I think I want to scan it and post it somewhere, because I think it just turned out so garden-y. And it's weird because there's garden aspects, but it just feels very feminine and vintage. Dare I say that word in this modern age, but it feels vintagey and like a Jane Austen book, which that is antique. What's older than antique? It's 4th of July. There's bombs outside, but I'm gonna meet you guys on the other side of my little intro that I made. So. Wasn't that pretty good? Pretty professional. It's pretty good. You could just tag me in the comments below. I'll make your intro too. It only took me like 20 minutes. Hey, you're gonna make me blush. In this journal specifically, I wanted to focus on one half of the page, because the last one I did, and usually when I do journaling, I do the whole page because there's just more room to work with. But I wanted to focus. I've been trying to do that thing in my life where I focus and I don't spread myself thin. And so I wanted to focus on one page and make the one page really, really good and really thought out and complete. Because it was a smaller of an activity, it was much more achievable, obviously, and it wasn't as daunting to fill all of the blank space. And it was also exciting to know that I'm going to work on the other page at some other point, and it's going to probably look entirely different from that one. So that's something I don't think I've really purposefully done in my journal, but I think it'll be really exciting to maybe even try to make it the opposite theme-wise. So I wanted to talk about my stamps. So that's something that I think I want to do a whole video about, is my stamp collection. I have collected stamps over the years, and I've traveled across the country twice. I've moved a few times since I started collecting stamps, and they're always they're one of the things that continue with me. They stay with me, and I'm like, I can't get rid of my stamps. I'll get rid of all these other things I really love, but I can't get rid of my stamps. Stamps are so expensive in store. Okay, I hate calling things so expensive when they're marked probably what they're worth, if they're accredited correctly by the correct artist, and if they're ethically made. I don't know about these stamps. I found these stamps at the Goodwill bins, my favorite place, and I bought them probably for a few cents each because they weigh like nothing. And some other stamps I would get stamps in Tacoma a lot because I think that Goodwill just always had stamps. Nobody ever bought the stamps there. And so I would buy like bags of them when they were half priced. And any other Goodwills that I've gone to other than in Tacoma, I haven't been able to find stamps for half price. So something about Tacoma, they hate stamps. But I found a lot of these stamps at the Goodwill bins, actually in Seattle. So maybe it's just like a Washington thing. Everybody hates stamps in Washington. Maybe that's why I hated it so much. But so I tried to make it look intentional, but it definitely wasn't. Me not pressing down hard enough. It's ink, it's scary. When you put it down, it's done. And I would rather put not enough on than too much. So I put not enough on, and then I thought, well, I'll just fill these in. So I filled in the bits and pieces where I knew where it was, and I had the little stamp for reference. And then I just started playing with it, and you can see later on, I kind of just, the mistake turned into an art. It turned into something else. So I work on this for a little bit, and then oh God, I didn't like this, and then I ended up covering it up later, but I started outlining, and then I realized that I didn't know what these cherubs were doing, and there was leaves, but then there was a cloth, and the leaves were fun, and then it became Jumanji-like, and I didn't like it. So I ended up covering it up with the Queen of England. My friend Caitlin got me these stamps. She got me like 100 stamps from an antique mall, and she mailed them to me when I was in Seattle, I believe. I think so. Maybe I was in Pittsburgh. I think I was in Seattle. She mailed them to me, and they're one of my most favorite things ever because they're just like stickers. They're great. And they're all vintage. They're all oldie and antique-y. This piece I got from a garden book, and I really wanted to get a JPEG situation going on. No background situation. Is that a PNG? No, it's a JPEG, right? I'm gonna look it up. Photos with no background are JPEGs? PNGs. You know, believe it or not, I worked as a content creator for a university. For 8 months straight. I should do it. Don't get me talking about that. Please. Anyway, back to this. A PNG. I was going for the PNG situationship here, and obviously didn't work out. I don't have any patience. So then I was like, well, I have this purple pen, and this is lavender, right? And so I just started filling it in, and it turned out fine. The pen is obviously a brighter, more pigmented green. Doesn't match, but it's fine. It looks great. And then I added the purple lavender. I started doing little circles, and I thought, why are we doing this? Just do little scribbles. So then I just did little scribbles. And then one of my favorite parts, and this is the same with sewing, when you cut the rough edges off, it automatically makes the piece look so much more put together. And it makes sense. You're cleaning the edges. You're erasing the lines outside of the lines. You're cleaning it up. You're wiping the edges off. It just makes it look so put together and intentional, and like you didn't just put a piece of paper from a magazine you found 5 years ago on another piece of paper with some Mod Podge or tape. And then these are my little tiny thingies. I love showing the things that I've spent time cutting out. I remember it was 2021, 2022. It was 2022. It was right before I moved to Seattle. And that was when I think I spent like 3 weeks just sitting in a bedroom cutting magazines. And that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. But none of this, actually. I don't think anything in here is from that. That little tiny thing is probably from one of those Hobby Lobby packages that you get. It's like vintage botanicals. At this point, I realized that I really liked going with the color scheme. So I went with this, and the red kind of messes up. The red rose is like the one thing that's different, but there's a green purple vibe going on. And it's same with the story. Once you have that thread that you can weave throughout your project, you are golden. You're set. You can mess up so much later on. All you gotta do is cover it up with something from that thread. Cover it up with purple, with a little bit of green. Easy, easy peasy. And then the stamps. This is when it all came together, okay? I messed up, almost cursed. I messed up with the stamps again. So that's fine, I can just fill it in. And then I get it right. And the minute I get it right, I'm like, dang, that looks really good. Now I know. I think now I'd rather have too much ink than not enough. So this was a lot easier than the castle because it was just like blobs and stuff. The bird was weird, that's okay. But see, you can see me holding up this stamp and trying to like, barely like duck. But I filled it in just like a little coloring book. And my meatloaf. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binaries, my meatloaf. And then she ateth her meatloaf for dinner. And I've continued editing while eating my meatloaf, and I have talked entirely too much. I have annoyed myself. Talketh too mucheth. Thine own self is annoyed. I will let the last 5 or so minutes of this roll out. Leave down in the comments below what you would like me to talk about, what you wish I was talking about right now, because I know everybody wishes. Right here I was talking about something, other than I guess what I'm talking about now. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. I still can't. I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to do that. So just enjoy the video. Just enjoy it, please. And just try journaling. I'll say it every time. Try journaling. Captain tries journaling. She sits there with me the whole time and she tries it. She loves journaling.